I'm in France, so I have to do my jacket up. I wouldn't need you. Philippe, Frédéric, my friends, it's a real privilege to be here. Back in Paris again, this wonderful city, this wonderful country. France, the beating heart of Europe. Look, we all are facing an enormous question this June. And perhaps the most frightening thing about the question that we need to ask ourselves is that most people in France and all over Europe don't even know how much unaccountable power is now being exercised by Brussels. So let me be very specific. Know this. Approximately 80% of all laws in France, Britain, Germany, Latvia, wherever you go in Europe, approximately 80% of laws now come from Brussels, which is one of the few places in the developed world where you have to be unelected to initiate policy. If this constitution that you already said no to, which is disguised now and called the Lisbon Treaty very misleadingly, if this constitution goes through, you will have a new president. As European citizens, separate from your French citizenship, you will have a president of Europe that never has to ask you for a vote. They will speak for all of you on the global stage, but they will never have to ask you for a mandate. Article 48 of this constitution, this treaty, states, it means that they never will have to hold a referendum in Europe ever again. The small remaining bit of power that you have as a citizen can be taken away from you under the powers granted to this political elite through Article 48. If this goes through, Europe will be a post-democracy. Millions of people shed their blood across Europe and in France to ensure that the freedom of people, the right of people to hold those that rule them accountable at a ballot box, that is something precious to all of us in France, Ireland, Germany, and everywhere else in Europe. Let's remember, it's what has prevented conflict in Europe. It is what has given us security and relative prosperity like we've never seen before in history. Democracy. 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 We can't say it enough. This is the issue, my friends. It's about democracy. Because whatever you believe, whatever form you think Europe should take, wherever you see France's place as one of the great nations of Europe, if you cannot have your voice heard at the ballot box, you are nothing. These elites in Brussels have silenced the voice of the French people. You voted no in a referendum on the Constitution and they ignored you completely. They didn't change anything, just the label. The Dutch people said the same thing. They sent the same message to these anti-democratic elites in Brussels. And the Irish people did the same. And what did these elites in Brussels say to all of us? They pointed us. The people of France, the people of Netherlands, the people of Ireland, And they have the arrogance to say, there's something wrong with you all. You don't get it. You're too ignorant. You're not European. There's something wrong with you. And what Libertas is saying to them in June is it's giving you the opportunity to send a strong message that these elites cannot ignore. Tell them, no, actually, there's something wrong with you. Listen to us. Listen to what we're saying. If you don't like it, listen harder. Because the definition of European values, one of the primary definitions, is we value democracy. We listen to the voice of the people. We respect the individual. And France, as one of the keystones of Europe, has an enormous and historic part to play this June. The French people have a real choice. You may not even agree on every little issue, but you have a choice. Challenge these elites. Do it in a constructive and positive